morning, everybody. Good morning, Jill. Love that hair. We're getting ready to do a ponytail. We're getting ready to do a ponytail. I know it. I know it if I had longer hair, but I was at the barber yesterday. I leave today to go to Nashville again, so I had to get my hair trimmed up. It's just kind of like one of those things you see in football. It was you made sure like your helmet was really snug, your shoulder pads, like everything had to feel good on you. So we had a saying like, if I look good, I'll play good. And if I'll play good, we'll have a good time later tonight. Those are the college days, Fran. I can't really say everything that we were talking about, but it was fun. We were getting ready to have a good time if we won. And if we won, we're celebrating. If we lost, we're celebrating our losses. Either way, we were celebrating was our main theme, Jasmine. Either way. So good morning to you all. Good morning to you. Jasmine's out walking. Jill just did her ponytail. Fran got mad at me because I did not send her the video right away, like at 5:03. I was in the gym, but don't you all worry. Fran and I worked it out, and she gave me approval. I can text her before 5 a.m. So hats off to Robin, who created this group me accountability, and I get yelled at for that too. If I don't respond, like if I don't get my stuff in there right away, I got a lot of accountability, Jim. People get upset if I do not go and put stuff in, and it's not even freaking 4:15 in the morning, and I got people accounting me. But I like it, Danny. I like it. We'll figure it out. So good morning to everybody. Let me take a look to see John Root's in the house. Michelle, Monica's here. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Ronnie and Sherry and Amanda and David and Dawn and Fireflies and Jarek and John Hart. What up, brother? Lisa, I've been seeing a lot of you lately, Lisa. We got to connect. I got to hear your story, what you got going on. What up, Fred? Marie to you all. Wendy. I'm just kind of scrolling through. I am on my phone today, so I'm limited on what I can see. I'm going to be sharing a little bit today. Today's topic are, I like the theme 6 for 26, Jim. I'm using 6 for 26, but I'm using it in different ways. And the case here for 6 for 26 is 6 strategies to help you be successful in 2026. 6 strategies to be successful that I feel can separate you and elevate you in your business. Put a 5 in the chat if you want to be successful in 2026. Put a 5 in the chat. If you don't want to be successful, it's not a problem. We don't frown upon that type of stuff. I just want to get a sense to see who I got here with me. Mildred, it was good seeing you, Mildred. So we do have some 5s. I know John Hart is. Oh, Michelle Wright said a 6. She wants nothing to do with it or she's above success. She's just like, I'm all in. I am all in on that. So that is what we're going to be talking about. So let's dive into the show. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. My name is Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And I like how you did that, Jasmine. You're like a DAD. She like kind of like shook her head like that. So I am not a DAD today, even though I am a DAD all the time, but I don't see the kids until tomorrow. So Wendy's helped me out because I was just like, yeah, I'm going back to Nashville again, and I have 2 little kids, and we got some dogs, and I need help. So just very thankful for her to help me out so I can travel. Thankful to Jim again. Seems like I need to bring those 2 back on the stage again and thank them. Jim and I'm like, Jim, I land at 5:15. He's like, great. I'll see you at 5:45. This is the lineup. This is what we got going on. We'll do this till about 11 o'clock at night. And then I'll see you tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. at the gym. I'm like, all right, that sounds great. Another lack of sleep going to Nashville. I don't think I sleep too much. Back in the day, if I was in Nashville, my old life of not sleeping, it was probably because I was too much on Broadway, not so much working my way to the Broadway lights to be on stages. So totally different element. But I'm just so very thankful to have many people in my life who hold me accountable, who keep pushing the needle. I want you to think about that because today we're going to talk about some of that today. Who in your life is pushing you? Write that down. Who in your life is pushing you? Now, part 2 to that, they can push you, but in the wrong direction. How many of you got those people like, come on, man, let's go out and drink? What do you mean you're going to stay at home? What do you mean you're going to stay with your kid? Come on, one more, let's go. Why are you being a wuss? Come on. See, there's different type of pushes. So who is that in your life? So without further ado, as we all love and know David, let us go to our affirmation. While we're doing the affirmation and Grace is pulling it up, I want you to unmute yourselves. And we're all going to say it together. But I want, when you say it together on our prayer call, for those of you who are ever thinking about being on our prayer call, Grace, if you can put the link in it. I do my prayer call with amazing people at 7:30 Eastern time. You're always more than welcome to join us on prayer. So Grace, put that in a link. But today we talked about something of, something good can happen to me and something good can happen through me. At the same token, this affirmation works both sides. Something bad is going to happen to me and something bad is going to happen through me. Yes or yes, both options can happen throughout our day, right? Both of these can happen. We can have bad things work through us if we're pushing people in the negativity, we're letting the devil get in our way and get involved in our lives. So when you say this today, I really want you to say it with conviction. I really want you to say it that you really, really mean it with everything, that if it's not going to happen to you, it's going to happen through you. So on the count of three, let's all say it together. 1, 2, and 3.
Something
Something
good
good is going to happen to
to
me.
me.
Something good
Is
is
going
going
to
to
happen through me.
I love it.
Let's
I love it.
go.
Yeah. I love it. That's Steve there. What up, Steve, up in Jersey? Up in Jersey over there. So good morning to you, Steve. All right. Now, Jackie doesn't like when I talk about this, but I'm going to anyways, right, Jackie? Jackie's like, I have no idea. How many of you were at Brian Gauke eyebrow thing? Brian Gauke eyebrow thing. Put a 10 in the chat if you were at Brian Gauke's eyebrows. I'm now staring at some of your eyebrows. I need to talk to Jackie about how she likes to help others because they're a little rounded all. See how they're rounded? That's what you do. They're rounded. So Jackie, you're going to help everybody today. And I appreciate you being on here because you're going to help everyone. Jim's just a badass. They're straight. You just be better direct and to the point with that guy. Jim, just freaking crush it today. And anybody who comes in your way, force them to it, man. You're going to do it. See, I got to see Jill's ponytail, but not her eyebrows. But I really thought that was fascinating, Amanda, on the whole eyebrows on that. And so I really challenge y'all, if you didn't get Brian Gauke's, I don't know if we got it in the link. If you want his flashcards, put flash in the chat and we'll send it over to you. I think it's amazing. I actually started to do it already and implying it for things that I was really looking for in working deals, getting people on my show. There was one person, they were hemming and hawing about it. I said, listen, here's the deal. I leaned in, I saw that they were round, and I changed my perspective. I said, here's the thing. Do you realize how many people you're going to help? This isn't about you, and I know it, you don't feel that, but you're going to help so many people when you just are able to pour into your story. She goes to me, I didn't even really think about it like that. I'll do it. I was like, yeah, Brian Gauke, eyebrows work. So you just never know when it's going to take place. All so if you really want them, it's $97 all. I don't even make any money off of it. I'm just sharing with you that I got flashcards to freaking study eyebrows because it makes a difference. How many of you would like to change the way your perspective and how you say things based on the eyebrows at $1 million listing appointment? Would you get upset? Would you be upset if you changed the way that you talk because you had a strategy, you had a tactic, you had a skill by using that, right? It works for everything, anything. It's really is an amazing tool. I strongly suggest doing it. So for those of you who put Flash in there, and those of you who aren't too sure about Flash, just put it anywhere. I would strongly recommend doing it. All right. So let's dive into today's message here. I got my notes right here. Got my little notes over here. So 6 for 26. Success strategies on what I feel. I read about 20 of them, and I picked these 6 out. There is really no rhyme or order in majority of them, really. But I just thought that this was a really good topic as we get into the 2026. So the first thing that the number one is evaluate your successes. Number one is evaluate your successes. There's a bold law for all our Keller Williams people. It basically says that success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. See, when we have success in our life, all right, one of the things I was talking actually Wendy's son today, and I would say, "What do you got going on today?" And he's going through some health issues with his back. And so today was about organizing and getting clarity. When you have clarity, you can create repeatability, meaning like, okay, I get to see that this clearly allows me some success. So Cody today is working on organizing the garage, organizing the shed. When you have organization, you have clarity. So when you go and say, I need that tool, I need that, it's just like, boom, I got it. I know exactly where it is because I organized my life. I got some clarity and some clutter. Write that down if you didn't catch that. I'm getting clarity in my clutter. It's very important that if you have clutter, you don't know what the hell's going on. What worked? What didn't work? Did that work? How did that? No, I don't really know. I mean, I'm just happy it landed where it did, but I'm not really too sure. So you can't repeat items if you don't know where your successes come from, and you can't repeat successes if you don't have clarity in your clutter. Does that make sense? Put a 5 in the chat if you're kind of like, okay, I got number 1 down. I think I have a pretty good idea of number 1. Let me go to my chats because I like to look at my chats. And then what you need to do is you need to study it. You need to study what worked, what success works. Right now, at 3:57 in the morning, I really thought it would go down as a failure, which is not probably the first thing that you need to have is like the mindset, like this is going to suck waking up at this time. But to be honest, I normally was getting up at 4:30. This extra 33 minutes has made a world of a difference in my morning. I feel so far ahead of the game. By the time I get to 6:30, it is a feeling like I can't even begin to tell you how much ahead I feel. And I didn't really understand it until I went, like I've been going through it. But I'm like, I got my prayers done. I'm showered. I went to the gym. I got my schedule done. I got my devotion. I got the kids' lunches packed, and it's freaking 6:30. And I'm like, boom. Like now I'm ready to attack the day like a freaking bat out of hell. I'm doing that. I feel like I'm in beast mode by 6:30. Write this down. When am I in beast mode? When am I in beast mode? When you have this clarity from the clutter, you can then repeat behaviors and habits, which then makes you that you're able to build some predictability, meaning like, okay, seems to be working. I can repeat this behavior. Now I can predict how I'm going to feel and where I'm going to be. And that is going to be a recipe for growth. So for those of you like formulas, repeatability equals predictability, what equals growth. Because you want to grow in 2026, right? How many of you want to grow? How many of you want to grow, right? I'm not going to say put a 5 in the chat, even though I know Jackie wants me to. All right, so let's go to number 2. Let's go to number 2. And I'm working on this at the same time, my number 2. Number 2. Now, just as much as we can evaluate our successes, I want you to evaluate your misses. I want you to evaluate your misses. Now, next to evaluating your misses, these are typically made as lessons. We mistake this as a flaw, victimhood. We go down a rabbit hole. And I always say, before you can have the blessing, there has to be a lesson. So there's always a lesson before the blessing. And you need to understand that you also, as Chad said yesterday, you can't be fearful. For those taking notes, write this down. Don't make today's decisions based off of previous experiences. Many times in life, we've heard this, Fred. I'm not doing that again. Last time I did that, I broke my arm. Last time I did that, I lost everything. boy, I bought that one piece of property and I freaking came away bankrupt. How many of us have heard that we are scared to move forward on certain things because we honestly used a previous experience to make today's decisions? We can't fear from mistakes. Mistakes are meant to be a lesson. If you have a lesson, I want you to look at the insight. Okay, well, that makes sense. All right, I could see why I lost that expired listing. Okay, I picked up a listing yesterday. It was a for sale by owner. Then he did the discount brokerage, and then he finally hired me yesterday. Here's the order: for sale by owner, went with the discount brokerage, hired me as a traditional agent. If I was bent out of shape like I used to be back in the beginning and got pissed off at him, like, screw you, I can't believe you didn't use me, get all upset, get fired up, instead of going through our follow-up process, because if you don't do your follow-up process, the chances of him calling you out of the blue while I was in Nashville and says, hey, man, I'm ready for you. I was like, ready for what? I'm ready for you to list. I've tried all my other I tried my other tactics. It didn't work. I'm now ready for your plan. For those of you doing expireds, I'm getting ready to do a course on this, but you have to understand that their plan didn't work. You need to make sure that they understand that their plan didn't work and you have a new plan. That's our main concept that we're going to be having. But in your misses, you want to be able to go back and say, where was the lesson on that? There are some lessons that you didn't learn. I want you to go back today and think about those. Okay? Number three, I want you to evaluate your patterns. Evaluate your patterns. What we repeat becomes our habits and our culture. So Fran, before the new year, I would be able to text Fran at 5 o'clock without getting a tongue lashing. Then what would happen, because a new plan came into play, I changed my pattern in the morning. I didn't also share my pattern change. How many of you do a pattern change and don't tell people around you, and it affects your environment? Typically in marriages, relationships, right? Like, this happens all the time with kids with school. It's like we have a pattern and a plan that Monday through Friday you're going to school. Well, guess what? When the plan is distorted and the pattern is shaken, meaning like we're not at school. Like, I don't feel like the kids have been in school for 30 days, like 2 weeks off for Christmas. Then we had Martin Luther King. Then we have a teacher work day. Like, they haven't had a full week of school, and I don't even know how long. But that is a pattern interrupt. Where's Jim Morris? Jim Morris did the pattern interrupt when he came on the stage and did a pizza. We're all just like, what the hell is Jim doing? He's supposed to be speaking. He should have had lunch earlier. Why all of a sudden does he feel the need to just sit there and have a piece of pizza when we're waiting for you? That is called a pattern interrupt. Well, pattern interrupts come in different forms and sizes in our life, and they are good and bad. Interruptions can be good because they make you shift. Like, ooh, I thought I was the 4:30 plan was great for me. I do a pattern interrupt, and now it's shifted the way that my morning is. But I didn't tell Fran about my pattern interrupt. So you also want to make sure when you're studying your patterns and you pivot and change your patterns that you tell the environment around you, your loved ones, people you work with, so they are not caught off guard, or they could be on the same environment of you. Like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Well, thank you for telling that to me. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So when you work on your patterns, let's see, repeated problems are also, yeah. So patterns also reveal to you what you do, meaning I've noticed that every time before I go to bed, the freezer talks to me and I like to have ice cream. I don't know why the ice cream just speaks louder and louder. And sometimes I can look at the ice cream and I look at it and I say, hey, ice cream, how are you? I'm like, I'm not getting you because I'm working on myself. But it continues that every time I go into the freezer, which seems to be my pattern, I'm going to eventually get ice cream. Denzel Washington says it best, that if you hang around a barber shop long enough, you'll eventually get a haircut. Is because you're in that pattern keeps you around that environment, and so you're going to choose to do that. Smoking, cigarettes, drinking, just as much as reading 10 pages, working outside your elements of something productive. These things take place when it comes time for patterns, and so you want to study that. Okay? Number 4, evaluate your people on your ceiling. Evaluate the people that are on the ceiling, meaning like who you looking up to. Are they the right fit for you? Who's growing and who's coasting? So when you're evaluating your people and you're looking around and be like, you know what, I really like that person. They constantly figured out a way that they can go out Monday through Sunday, drink their faces off, and still show up Monday crushing it. Like those people, wow, that is I want to be like that. People are like, wait, what? Huh, Brock? Who are you looking at? Are you seeing people working out on the weekends? Are you seeing people still working on a Saturday? Are you seeing people go to church? Are you seeing people still show up consistently? Are you seeing good patterns from them? Are you seeing them read great books? Are they putting out good content on social media? Are they spending time with their family? Are they balanced? Do they have a balanced life? So I want you to evaluate that. And then I want you to take a look at yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, do I need development or do I need direction? Do I need development or do I need direction based off of the people that are on my ceiling that I'm looking up at? If I want to be more like John Root in his business with novations and what he's doing, then I might have a conversation with John Root. If I want to be like Jim and he's doing some marketing, he's doing different things, I want to be able to like, you know what? I need to be around this. This guy's making an impact, and I want to make an impact, and I want to be around him, and I want to see his podcast. I want to do what he's doing. So I'm going to go reach out to Jim. I'm going to say, Jim, can you tell me a little bit about your development and how you got to this position? Could you share with me, Jim, some direction based off of what you heard me say? Could you give me some direction? So write that down. Write down development and direction. Those are very, very important. Because the people that are on your ceiling that you're looking up to, I'm not saying the basement. I didn't say go downstairs, go to the basement, underneath the covers, wait there at the bottom, next to the ants and the mold, go look there. No, we all came from that spot, but how are you growing into that? All right, number 5. How we doing? Everybody good? Since we're on number 5, put a 5 in the chat if you're getting something out today, because I like the 5s, Michelle. I like the 5s. I don't know why. I'm getting a t-shirt. I'm going to get a t-shirt. I know it. All right. Number 5, evaluate your priorities. Evaluate your priorities. How many of you heard the saying, what you focus on expands? What you focus on expands, right? We've heard of that before. Your focus determines your direction. If you're putting like, you're writing down number 5 underneath number 5, I would put down focus determines direction. Focus determines direction. I think that's so very important. And if you go back to what you focus on expands, what are you focused on your business? So what are you focusing? A lot of questions for you all, because I want you to walk away with this being like, to really get some meditation, to really get some thoughts in yourselves. Okay? Are you focused more on the activity or the outcome? Are you focused more on the activity or the outcome? A lot of times people were just dreaming and thinking and everything else, but we really need to focus on the activities, the action that's going to get us that. Jim and I are working on some expireds. So we work on the activities that get us better so we can have more expired, so we can get more closings. What are you saying? When are you calling them? What's your follow-up look like? What's your 5x5 look like? What's your 15-day email look like? What are all these things, these activities to get to your outcome? Okay? my next one I'm going to leave you with, and for those that want these slides, you just let me know. We're going to put our show notes in there. Just put in show notes. Are you working on lead generating or are you working on noise? Are you focusing on, I should say this, are you focusing on lead generation or are you focusing on the noise? Well, I can't afford it, Brock. I don't know. I don't have time in the morning. I have to drop off my kids. Brock, by the time I get in the afternoon, I'm tired. Nobody's answering their phone. I don't like leaving voice messages, Brock. Are you focusing more on all the outside noise or are you focusing on the activities that will get you the income that you need? What is it that you're focused on? Number 6. Number 6 is the hardest one. Okay, so I'm just going to ask everybody just take a pause. I want you to evaluate yourself. The hardest person to lead. Number 6, evaluate yourself because the hardest person to lead is the person in the mirror. We have no problem telling others what to do. We have no problem. You need to wake up early. You need to go to bed early. You need to study the Bible. You need to write your gratitude. You need to study your scripts. Keep doing it. You got it. Eat healthy. Go work out. Jim has no idea, but we're working out tomorrow, Jim, really early. We're going to the gym. Because to me, the gym is something I really don't want to do. And if I can conquer the first thing I don't want to do, the first thing in the day, I'm just building. I'm like, well, shit, if I can handle that, I can do the next thing over here. That was the hardest thing to run that mile under 12 minutes. Yes, it was well under 12 minutes. I'm just saying that out loud. Somebody's like, what? 12 minutes? I can crawl faster than that. I'm just saying, what is it that you got? What is it that is holding you back? And I want you to think about these 6 things that I share with you. Evaluate your success, evaluate your misses, evaluate your patterns, evaluate your priorities, and evaluate yourself. And when you do this, I want you to spend 10 or 15 minutes. I was just telling Cody today after he got done organizing his stuff, I said, now that you have clarity and you have organization, I want you to go for a walk. 20 minutes. I don't care how cold it is, because as Cullen said, it was 30 below degrees in Alaska. And I know it's not that cold here. So unless it's 30 below in Alaska, you can go for a walk. Dress warm. When you do something you don't want to do, when you're focusing on yourself, you're going to come back. I promise you, you're not going to be like, Brock, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done. I cannot believe you made me do that. I promise you, you won't. You'll come with clarity. You'll get some direction. You'll understand the development that you're wanting to get to. All these integral parts will take place. And that is why it's so very important that the last thing is evaluating yourself. And then I want you to do this for 5 days in a row. Because what you think about today could be different than what you think about at the end of this journey. Because things do change, right? Things happen. Your life can shift. Something drastic could happen today. Good, bad, or indifferent. I had no intentions to be going to Nashville. I did not have it on my monthly calendar. Go to Nashville to speak on Gary Ashton's stage to be a keynote speaker with the #1 REMAX company. Not on my schedule. But there's a reason why God aligned me up to make it all work out, and then for me to put together a program to be able to share. There's a reason why our speakers, our leaders that are on here are going to pour into you, and it's going to trigger something to you. But something could happen between now and the end of the month. Yes or yes. So it's very important that if you're able to do it for 5 days in a row, then do it for 5 minutes for 10 days in a row. Shift it, whatever that might look like for you. But you're building habits and behaviors because, like I said in number 3, you're going to build a pattern. And once you have some really solid patterns, you become indestructible. So guys, that is what I got on the show today. If you want my show notes, put show notes in the chat. If you liked what I had to say, Put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. Put a heart in the chat. If you don't like what I have to say, put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. So that way, either way, I feel okay about leaving here this morning. Fran always laughs. All right, guys, if you are interested, a couple things to end on. One is if you are interested in being one of my buyer specialists, I am hiring a buyer specialist. Number two, if you're interested about my Now Money program, I am doing my Now Money program for 2026. If you want my Now Money program, put now in the chat and I will send you over information. It does include my book as well, Turning Scripts into Conversations. So you got Now Money, you put it now in the chat. If you want to be one of my buyer specialists, put BS, and I'm not talking about BS, you know what I mean, Jill, not BS in you. I want you to put BS in there, and that way I'll see if you want to become one of my buyer specialists. I am only taking 2 on that. So guys, I appreciate you all. Tomorrow, very excited. If you miss Brittany Hall on the stage on Tuesday, she is going to be our leader tomorrow. So Brittany Hall will be there. She will bring the fire and the passion. Watch out. She is strong. I love powerful women. She'll be here tomorrow at 8:15. So ask you all if you know somebody, please join us. Invite them to the show. And Jim, I will see you in a couple hours. I think I saw Steve. I'll see you in a couple hours. Rob, I'll see you in a couple hours. I'll see several of you back in Nashville again. And for all of those, I appreciate you all. God bless you. Be safe, be healthy, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow morning and can't wait to talk. Till then, see ya.